Well, good morning and welcome to the Children's Moment. Again, you'll have noticed that I have changed the title for this moment at 9:30 to the Children's Moment, and that's really because I think we have some different things to talk about and do and read and share during this month of June. I also believe that in our past at Claremont Presbyterian Church, normally just before the school year ends in Claremont, Godly Play, the usual curriculum of Godly Play, has concluded, and so we'll do stuff for the summer during this time, and sometimes there's a couple weeks off. Granted, we're doing this online, so we don't have to take time off to worry about that, those breaks. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a reason why we're not calling it Godly Play so much in the morning during June, but Children's Moment. So we have been, as a congregation, talking about race and justice and the things that our congregation can do to help all of us better understand how we as a people of faith interact, engage, and support and advocate. That's a big word. That means support people for justice. And especially this month, we talk about racial justice. It's June, so it's Pride Month. We talk about gay and lesbian, bisexual, and transgender pride and justice as well. And last week, we talked a little bit about race and what's been going on and what we've been seeing with protests. Today, I thought I'd read you a story. This story is called The Other Side, and it's by Jacqueline Woodson, and illustrations are the drawings in the book. The illustrations are by E.B. Lewis. So you can see, and I'll hold up the pictures so we can see. That's the cover. Ooh. That summer, the fence that stretched through our town seemed bigger. We lived in a yellow house on one side of it. White people lived on the other. And Mama said, "Don't climb over that fence when you play." She said it wasn't safe. That summer, there was a girl who wore a pink sweater. Each morning, she climbed up on the fence and stared over at our side. Sometimes I stared back. She never sat on that fence with anybody. That girl didn't. You can see her way over there on the fence. Once, when we were jumping rope, she asked if she could play. And my friend Sandra said no without even asking the rest of us. I don't know what I would have said. Maybe yes, maybe no. That summer, everyone and everything on the other side of that fence seemed far away. When I asked my mama why, she said, "Because that's the way things have always been." Sometimes, when me and Mama went into town, I saw that girl with her mama. She looked sad sometimes, that girl did. "Don't stare," my mama said. "It's not polite." It rained a lot that summer. On rainy days, that girl sat on the fence in a raincoat. She let herself get all wet and acted like she didn't even care. Sometimes I saw her dancing around in puddles, splashing and laughing. Mama wouldn't let me go out in the rain. "That's why I bought you a rainy day toys," my mama said. "You stay inside here where it's warm and safe and dry." But every time it rained, I looked for that girl, and I always found her, somewhere near the fence. Someplace in the middle of the summer, the rain stopped. When I walked outside, the grass was damp and the sun was already high up in the sky, and I stood there with my hands up in the air. I felt brave that day. I felt free. Really cool picture. I got close to the fence and that girl asked me my name. Clover, I said. My name's Annie, she said. Annie Paul. I live over yonder, she said, by where you see that laundry. That's my blouse hanging on the line. She smiled then. She had a pretty smile. And then I smiled, and we stood there looking at each other smiling. It's nice up on this fence, Annie said. You can see all over. I ran my hand along the fence. I reached up and touched the top of it. A fence like this was made for sitting on, Annie said. She looked at me sideways. My mama says I shouldn't go on the other side, I said. My mama says the same thing, but she never said nothing about sitting on it. Neither did mine, I said. That summer, me and Annie sat together on that fence, and when Sandra and them looked at me funny, I just made believe I didn't care. Some mornings my mama watched us. I waited for her to tell me to get down from that fence before I break my neck or something, but she never did. I see you made a new friend, she said one morning, and I nodded and Mama smiled. That summer, me and Annie sat on that fence and watched the whole wide world around us. One day, Sandra and them were jumping rope near the fence, and we asked if we could play. I don't care, Sandra said. And when we jumped, Sandra and me were partners the way we used to be. When we were too tired to jump anymore, we sat up on the fence, all of us in a long line. Someday, somebody's going to come along and knock this old fence down, Annie said. And I nodded. Yeah, I said, someday. The end. This story, again, is called The Other Side. I really like about this story that it talks about two girls who lived on two different sides of a fence, and they were curious about one another, and they became friends with one another, and then, because of their friendship, they were able to teach their other friends or show them that it was okay to be friends and to find a way to connect and to find ways that they have common things, and so things in common. I think that in our community, in our schools, in our churches, in the grocery stores and in the parks and in our city, maybe that's something we can do. Is that if we are better friends with other people, people who may not look like you, may not look like me, maybe that's where it begins. Is to learn about somebody, is to be their friend, and then maybe show others that there are ways that we can support each other, that we can find common ground, and that we can help each other to live a better life. So, it may not be easy, it may be sometimes a little scary to show your friends that example, to be kind to one another, but I think that that's something that we are called to be. That means that is something that God wants us to do. All right, friends, I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed this story, and hopefully I'll see you during worship right here on Facebook Live in just about 15 minutes. All right, bye-bye.